Hola mi gente, what's up? It's your girl, Lovely Angel Lady, L to the A to the L. Hey mis amores, what's up y'all? So, y'all know I'm getting back into doing my Let's Talk discussion videos. So, I just finished doing a beauty related video in my beauty room, but I came back over to the other side. Over there is where my hair station and stuff is. So I came back over. This is the side I usually do makeup. When y'all see me, it's got all makeup over here and stuff like that. But I decided, let's go ahead and do this. I wasn't going to do it because I am not one for the mess. Like I don't care for drama. I don't particularly care for it because people be doing the most sometimes, whether it's for money or the attention. People just be doing too much, and I tend to kind of stray away from that because I don't find it attractive. I don't find it cute, funny, nothing that I want to surround myself with, because that's not the type of vibes that I want going on in my direction, if that makes sense. But needless to say, several of y'all requested that I chime in on this topic. Me being a therapist, I have a background in mental health counseling. I got my degree. I earned it and graduated back in 2013. Yeah. It just lets me know that, time is flying by, y'all. But, so I earned my master's in mental health counseling back in 2013. And I've worked with clients who have suffered from domestic violence, sexual assault, neglect, like elderly being neglected and even them being abused. Children, from all the way from small children, like 2 and 3, all the way up to like 86 or something years old. So I've worked with a big variety of clients of all different, races and backgrounds, cultural backgrounds, and just different people, people from all different types of walks of life. And I don't know, I tend to have my views, me being a professional, not that I don't believe in having fun. It's just a time and a place for that type of a situation. If you want to laugh and have fun, you go to a comedy show. If you want to laugh and have fun, maybe even a circus. But I don't take helping people. Like we all have something that's, not right with us. That could be going on mentally because of something that happened in the past or something that we're going through that we might be hanging on to. Everybody has something. And back when I was in school, like I actually saw people get dismissed from the counseling program if they weren't up to par. If, for instance, there's something called unfinished business. If you are in the human services field, then you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. But if people go into the field and they have unfinished business, they can do more harm to clients than help them. You know what I mean? Or any type of countertransference, like someone dealt with a situation and they're angry at a group of people because it brings back bad memories of something traumatic, a traumatic event that maybe they've experienced. And so they'll act out on anyone that's presenting with those type of behaviors or actions and so forth, if they're dealing with countertransference. But once again, you cannot enter the field. You're not supposed to anyway, enter the field when you have all that going on. So we as therapists, we are still supposed to get therapy for ourselves because at the end of the day, we are what? Say it with me. We are human too. None of us are perfect. But like I said, I don't like drama. I don't like mess. Keep that with the Dr. Phil show. Or even Ayama. Like, I don't know. I used to love her show. But she's not really, a licensed professional, like the way that she goes about her techniques and stuff that she uses. Some of them may be okay, but some of them are a little touchy and questionable, because if you do not know what you're doing and you're not careful, you can damage a client further than what they're already damaged. And that's the truth. A lot of people out here say, oh, people don't like the truth, so when you don't give them to them raw, and you're not just upfront, with people, like they can't comprehend it or they won't listen or whatever. I was just doing a video the other day about groups, people, being in groups and stuff like that. And if it's not really benefiting you, like why be a part of it? If it's making you look bad, why do you have to go follow up behind a group of other people and agree with everything they do and say? This kind of reminds me a little bit of that, because people get a little bit of money, they get famous, and what they're going to get, a gang of followers. It's going to always be somebody to side with them and agree with what they're doing. It could be 10 times wrong. It could be wrong on so many levels, but you got people that's going to follow that. And they're going to say, they're just mad because XYZ and whatever. They're going to agree with everything this person says and does, So I don't expect y'all to agree with everything I say. I promise I don't cur. I will not be hurt. If your opinion is different than mine, we can agree to disagree all damn day. I don't care about that. Like, I have no problem with that. I'm a big girl. You're probably big girls and big boys too. And so we can all wear our big girl and big boy pants and, carry on what we need to do. We can act like we got some sense. That's what people lack these days, is everybody's just seems to be losing it. I know we're in the middle of a pandemic and that's not making anybody's mental health any better. But then we have situations like this that are very concerning. And like I said, I didn't want to, I really didn't, I wanted to kind of stay away from it, y'all, but I was like, let me let y'all see this, because I was kind of shocked and appalled, and nothing really shocks me anymore. Once you're a therapist and you hear the things that you have to hear and witness the things that you witness, it's like nothing really is that shocking to you anymore, especially when you're dealing with mental health and you're dealing with like level 5 patients, actual patients, like in a psych ward or something like that. You done seen it all, honey. You done seen them naked, stripped down, run around, you see like substance induced situations, just, somebody whose brain just might not be wired properly. It's just depending on what, somebody is dealing with. But what I take seriously about it is that I entered this field to help people, and anybody in the human services field, I would think that they'd be doing the same. This is not something that you take part in only for the money. It's not one of those get rich quick type situations where a lot of people, they seem to want the lights, camera, action, lights on them, focus all on them. But it begins to not even be about the clients anymore, and it gets to that point. So that's what's concerning about the situation to me, is that sometimes people that consider themselves even like semi-professionals, I will call it, because somebody who's obviously working with somebody who's presenting with some type of mental illness needs to be a professional. And that's why, school is so long and extensive, and all the internship and practicum hours and stuff are required, and all the testing and all that is there, and it's in place for a reason, because we can really do damage to some people. And people that aren't into psychology and never have worked in the field, they have no clue probably, like what I'm talking about. But I get it, because I see firsthand the damage that some of these so-called professionals do to these people. And yeah, it brings, it can bring us clients, it keeps money flowing, but it's beyond that. Like, we don't want to see so many situations where people are suicidal, or more situations because somebody else is doing something that's causing it to worsen. So like, even though it's just more, it's usually more than about the money. And if it's more than about the money to you, you tend to care about the people. So I care about the people. I'm not saying nobody is perfect, but it is your duty as a human services person, whether you are a coach, a life coach, a dating coach, a counselor, a substance abuse counselor, like even if you're working with substance, induced disorders, or mental health, even teaching, anything where you're kind of one-on-one and you're working with people, you can really like cause some damage if you're not careful and watch what you're doing. And if you're looking at it for the show and for the money, it's like, this is not a circus. It's not for clowns. It's not for entertainment. It's not. I feel like people just really can take advantage, and they use, people that are mentally ill sometimes to, come up. They use it as their come up, and I think that's selfish, But I'm gonna show you guys. So I have my iPad right here, my handy dandy iPad. This is my little tablet, and I don't know. That's TikTok, y'all. I'm getting a TikTok alert. I ain't been on TikTok in forever. They keep alerting me. But yeah, so y'all know my channel is beauty, fashion, and lifestyle. So I do chime in on Let's Talk discussions, considering that I do have a mental health background. I kind of let y'all know like my thought process, what I'm thinking about certain topics and situations. Sometimes I give y'all tips and stuff like that might help you with confidence or anything of that nature. Okay, so when you're dealing with coaches and things like that help with like dating, they should still, have some type of sense and training and liability insurance. Especially when you're doing things like this situation that we're about to talk about. Hope you got good attorneys, because obviously you're making some kind of good money if you making like crazy moves like that. Like, I just think some things are bold, but some things are just stupid. You know what I mean? Like, ugh. So this is one of those situations where it's like a thin line between like, are you truly helping people? It was just questionable for me. So I'm gonna let y'all like watch a little bit of it, and then I'm gonna talk about it, let y'all watch a little bit more, talk a little bit more. But it's on my tablet, and I just figured it'd be easier for me to just, chat it up with y'all this way, because I can just like pause it and so forth. So let's just listen in a little bit. So this is a gentleman that goes by the name of Kevin Samuels. Y'all may not have heard about this whole interview, but I'm gonna let you guys hear about it. I'm not even gonna get too much into it. I'm gonna let you guys listen. And then I'm going to kind of chime in a little bit on the topic here, okay? Okay, here we go.
Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Those were hers.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, are you a PhD?
No, I'm a PhD.
How many dollars you got?
One.
Really?
I'm sorry?
What kind of dog is it?
He's a cane corso.
He's a what?
A cane corso.
What is that in English?
It's a larger dog, and their breed is meant for guarding and protecting. They're very protective of their home and their family.
Okay, so what's your disagreement?
Honestly, I don't have a disagreement. I just came here because I actually want some advice from you.
It says disagreement day.
I know, this is my first time catching it on live. Normally I'm asleep. And
You have a job?
I do. I own a business.
Okay, so I do too.
And I do have a question.
But I have a business. And if you wanted my advice, you could always book a session if you can't catch us at the show live.
I was trying to go online earlier.
But all you have to do, man, what kind of business do you own?
I own a pet grooming, doggy daycare, and
okay, so what you're basically trying to do is, I have a disagreement day, and you basically came in and said, damn your topic, I want to ask you what I want to ask you. And but you are more than welcome to go on my website and purchase your time to talk with me one-on-one. Because what you're trying to do is rather rude. But I will go ahead and do it because I'm going to use this as a teaching lesson. How old are you? How old are you?
I'm 35.
35 years old. 35 years old and you're a business owner. And what's your question?
So my issue is, I want to know, at what point when I'm just meeting a guy, do I tell him that I'm a business owner? Because my problem is that when I try to date down and the conversation comes up to where I own a business, the guy is either like, hey, can I come join in on you on that business, or can I put some in it, be a business partner? And I'm not looking for that. And I honestly,
hold on. I need to be clear on this subject. Where are you at?
North Carolina.
And you're saying when to tell somebody you own a business?
Because I find when I date down, guys feel interest and want to be like a business partner. And I'm learning that maybe I need a high value man, because that's what.
Well, first off, ma'am, I really don't understand. What kind of man are you talking about? Because owning a business is no different than having a job, in my opinion. And I'm not getting what you're saying. When should you? I'm not understanding why this is an issue. If you're what kind of men are you dating?
I try to give guys that not a chance.
You try to do what?
I try to give guys that's not on my level a chance.
Why? What do you mean on your level? What does that mean?
That's making 6 figures or more.
But I don't okay. You try to give guys who are not on your level a chance. Why?
Because I honestly want a 6-figure guy. Is what I'm realizing.
Okay, so let me just go ahead and net it out for you. You ready? The guys you want aren't asking you out.
Well, I haven't been put myself out there, honestly.
But you put yourself out there enough for the guys you don't want or relieved you to ask you out.
Those are like guys I met online.
Right. So, again, the men you want are not asking you out. See, you ladies do this. You go and deal with men who you feel are beneath you, and then you ask how to fix them. I'm not beneath you. I don't know how to fix a guy that's down there. That's not my concern. The better question is, why can't you get a guy on your level? That's the real question. Well, first of all, I would tell you, what I said in here automatically is a problem. Why you would come onto a show that you know is a disagreement day? It's selfish. It's like, well, yes, man. It's like, I want what I want. I don't say things for no reason. That's why I asked you questions. You're 35 years old, a business owner. That means you understand what business is, and you know this is a business. And I have a show title. And you said, "Damn your show title, I want to talk to you." But you could have went to my business and booked time to talk to me, but you wanted what you wanted, how you wanted.
I'm sorry.
No, and I'm using this as a lesson. That's the problem with too many of you black women. You don't do shit the right way with black men. That was improper.
Hold up. Okay, we're going to stop right here. As y'all know, many of y'all watch YouTube, and there has been some type of war. It's like a whole gender war going on amongst black women and black men, and it's just makes you want to throw up. Like, it's ridiculous because it all goes way back to years and years ago, with slavery and us being broken up and, all that. Yeah, we're not personally slaves. That happened, with our ancestors and so forth. But had we been, able to stay together, we could fight back. Had we been able to stay together, as a culture, we would be, we could be stronger. They didn't want that. They wanted to, reward black women for staying single and being single mothers. And, the government steps in and helps and offers assistance for that. It's almost like that's what is advertised. Like that should be the way. But had we been able to stay together and not have all this conflict and controversy, we wouldn't all be hating on each other and always, in a rumble, always wanting to fight, always aggressive, always angry. And the fact that it's really sad that we can't come together. and just do better and be better. Like, I really think that's ridiculously sad. And that boils down again to the video that I was talking about groups. If they're not trying to help you be positive and better you, if everything is stuck on making somebody else look bad, the whole organization is structured that way, and it's like that every day, all day. Like, why wouldn't you question that? You know what I mean? As somebody who does therapy, I'm like, it just doesn't make any sense. I know everybody wants a sense of belonging, but that was disrespectful. Like, okay, so sis called in, this queen called in. Number one, that's a little suspect and questionable for me. If I have seen someone and I follow them and have seen how they conduct themselves on numerous occasions, and I see how they come at people, like they come at people a little left, I'm probably not going to volunteer to be like, okay, I'm going to go live, or I'm going to go call into your show or whatever and be made an example of, period. Like, no, it's a no for me on that part. If you know that you possibly have some really deeper rooted issues going on, you need to see a licensed professional, some type of therapist or something in the field, who likely would have repercussions that they would have to deal with if they behaved like this, in this manner. If a licensed professional behaved like this, they would really have it handed to them, and it shouldn't even be questionable. It shouldn't even be a thing. It shouldn't even be up for discussion, because even if you're a coach, coaches do a lot too. Life coaches, dating coaches, and so forth. But they're not to the extent of, dealing with people's mental health and diagnosing and treating and stuff of that nature. But still, you're playing a key role in people's lives. And just like you're supposed to be there to help them, you could do more damage. And that's what's concerning to me. I even listened to another therapist, so-called therapist. I don't even know, what his credentials were, but I sat there and I listened to, what he had to say about the whole situation. Okay, he has a point. She called in. It was, disrespectful. She should have been willing to pay and have a private session with him, but he ain't had to do sis like that. Like, no, he took it too far. And as somebody who's professional, you're doing this for a business. Is it a circus? Is it a comedy show? Is it a roasting session? Like, you know what I mean? Like, as a professional, I can't really see past that. I'm like, what was he thinking? Because if I didn't know any better, like I said, we're all human and we have something, but what is on the inside of him seems like it starts to show through in his actions and how he communicates with her. And you women, you broads, that's how he's addressing this queen. And it's like, no, she may not be perfect. She may have been out of line. She stepped out of bounds with the whole calling in on a different day. I wouldn't have called brother in the first place. If I'm having a situation like that, I would have did my research and reached out to somebody that I know is really changing lives and, doing things and would do things more in a way that, I could trust that they're not going to make a fool out of me. They're not going to make an example out of me if I make a mistake, because at the end of the day, we're all going to make mistakes. We're human. All he had to do was just let her know that he was going to disconnect the call because she was calling in on the wrong night. He ain't have to take it that far. Like, you can make an example out of somebody without going to this extent. Like, as a professional, whether you're a coach or a counselor, it doesn't matter. You're supposed to be helping people, not driving the situation into the ground and making it worse, not digging in her wounds and spreading them open, because that's what that's like. You know what I mean? Like, we don't know what sis had going on. Obviously, she presented with some, self, issues, some self-esteem problems. I don't know her. I have not had any sessions with her, so I cannot sit there, diagnose anybody, that I have not seen. But I'm just saying that when somebody who calls themselves is a professional, they conduct themselves in that manner, it begins to become questionable to me. So I'm just like, you call yourself a professional. That's just how I was feeling. Like, yeah, you're not a counselor, but that doesn't mean act a clown. Just act a complete nut. Like, I don't know. I just felt like it turned into like a comedy show where they do like a little roasting session or whatever. Like, it turned into that. Or like he might possibly have some type of anger against black women, or like, what is his trip? You know, what's his issue? What kind of unfinished business do he have? Like, you know what I mean? If I were her, I wouldn't have done that anyway, but I would have gotten off that call. Especially when you see what way it's going. Like, sis, it's questionable already. You see how he's talking to you, not even respecting you. You know, he started off talking sort of nice, and people say, oh yeah, he got irritated. And, you know, he started to get, but wasn't nothing that serious for him to get that angry like that. Because she mentioned something about younger women not wanting to date older men, and then he had to get cocky about it and say how, yeah, they do, but it depends on what people like. Some younger women do like that. Never was my thing personally. It just depends on the person. That's the thing. Everybody puts them in a bubble. Everybody is not the same. Everybody don't like the same things. But the thing is, when you're dealing with something like this, somebody like this, they blow up because like people want a shit show at the end of the day. And that's what they get with the old boy, with Mr. Samuels. So I'm going to let y'all watch a little bit more and chime in again. So like, I agree with him. Like, she wasn't respecting the business hours. But I feel like homeboy straight turned into Big Red on the 5 Heartbeats. My business hours are from 9 to 5. Say it with me. 9 to 5. Like, old boy went, remember when R. Kelly and Mr. Big, and they was doing Contagious and all that, and they was acting out the scenes, like he went straight hood with it. He went gangstified. Like, was that necessary? You didn't have to do it like that, homeboy. Okay, Skillet? You didn't have to do it like that. You didn't have to do sis like that. You can make a point. You can help somebody out. You can be honest without just being an asshole. Find a pastor. Go find a mental health professional. Find somebody licensed and that you actually can witness, like, or read over like people's testimonies, reviews and so forth, that you see that this person is not going to jack you up more than what you already are. Because nobody needs to honestly pay somebody to screw them up, to mess them up more. You know what I'm saying? You could be loose as a goose. You could be, you know, however the terms are out there for mentally, you know, going mentally, you know, off the edge. But people here in America, they help you get there for free, sis. You ain't got to pay nobody to help make you more mentally ill than what you already are, make your mental situation worse. Like, you ain't got to pay nobody for that. Like, if you want to do that, you could just go out on the street, just dating alone, and you come across your share of people who willing to do that. It's enough narcissists and people dealing with personality disorders in this world than a little bit. You ain't got to pay somebody to literally make you stone crazy. Because at the end of the day, who is this helping? You could say, oh, you know, people hate to hear the truth or whatever. It's a way to tell people the truth, and it's a way to productively help people. And this was just not it. I don't give a shit what y'all say. This just wasn't a good way to do it. And like the fact that people are saying, you know, it's okay. Yeah, she was wrong. So I do agree. I agree with him to a certain extent. And I'm not going to say I agree with her, but sis obviously needs some help. And as a person that's supposed to be a professional, somebody in human services that's supposed to be helping people, he could just refer her to a therapist if he knows that's what she needs. I have plenty of life coaches that have referred clients and patients to me because they know it was outside of what they could do for the person. It was outside of their scope of practice. But what they did not do was make a complete monkey, complete ape out of the damn person. You know, like, who is this helping? Like, why did you think this was helping? Why did you think that you need to go to this extent to make an example? You make good money. You got good money coming in. But why to this extent? Like, it's just questionable about where you are in your mental state and what's going on in your life. Who are you mad at? Like, it's just really questionable. You know what I'm saying? As a professional, I don't care how pissed off somebody makes you or how ridiculous you think they're being. They're stepping outside of your business hours. They're not respecting you. Just let them know and kindly move on about your business. You ain't got to have a whole shit show going on. And it was just really dramatic and very distasteful and unnecessary, in my opinion. And sorry, but not sorry. Everybody has an opinion, and they're like buttholes. We all have them, but it's my opinion. It is what it is, and y'all wanted to know my opinion, and this is me chiming in on it. And because people who are outside of helping people mentally, they have no idea the damage that they cause people that come running in there, people on the edge about blowing up stuff. Like, we got enough issues in this country. We don't need somebody making people worse, making people more suicidal. They're already dealing with some sort of mental situation, and I've even seen stuff that was so disheartening and troubling just looking in the comments of some of these videos where people were saying it ain't for the faint heart, it ain't for the weak. We all done been weak a time or two in this lifetime. Stop acting like y'all ain't never went through something. Y'all so perfect and strong. Because a lot of times them the ones that's the most screwed up. They angry, and when your heart is black, you don't let your heart get cold, you are dealing with demons and all kind of stuff that you could possibly be dealing with. So, like, who are you to, have something bad to say about the next person? Who are you to be judging the next person? So, sis, yes, she presented with some issues, obviously. But all he had to do was just send her on her way and be done with the situation. And had I been her, when he would have, said that, I would have said, you're right, I'll if I wanted to still deal with him, I would have, went on and got off of there, excused myself, and booked an appointment if you really just had to meet with somebody who did you like that. But I wouldn't want to even deal with a person who did me like that. Yeah, even if, you're not right because you're kind of outside of the business hours and you shouldn't have done that, sis. Yeah, I agree with that. But like I said, oh boy, didn't have to take it to that extent that he took it. And I don't know. I just feel that Mr. Samuels, he could have taken it in a different direction than what you did. You ain't have to do that. Like, for real. Like, yeah, people might say, oh, you should be happy because they're sending more clients to you. But anybody who identifies as being in a helping profession, they're supposed to be helping people, not making them more traumatized, not making them feel more down on themselves than what they probably already are. Like, for real. So let's listen to a little bit more, y'all. Like, he obviously has some anger issues or something that he's dealing with. But like I said, we all have something. So I'm not pointing a finger at that. I'm just saying that it's showing through. Because people do show their true colors. You know what I'm saying?
You still were like, well, whatever. So I'm going to use this. When was the last time you had a relationship?
Like the end of last year around December.
How long did it last?
A year.
A year? And was that man, did you go to college?
Did I go to college?
Yes.
No, sir.
Okay, and how long have you owned your own business?
9 years.
And how long have you been making 6 figures or more?
The last 3.
Okay, why do you need a man making 6 figures?
Because I'm finding out that the guys that I date it's not working out.
What does that have to do with money?
Because I feel like I need a guy that I can respect and admire, and I'm ambitious, and I want a guy that has that drive too. And when he doesn't, I find myself, encouraging like, hey, babe, you can do this and you can do that. And then,
all right, so in North Carolina, what percentage of the population, what percentage of men in this country make 6 figures or more?
I think it's like 5%. I'm not
closer to 10. So, 10%. All right. So, the question is, what do those men who make that kind of money, who all women tend to want, what do they want?
I feel like they want arm candy, somebody who can have more to bring to the table than just looks, but also bring balance to their life. I feel like I can help them out on.
Okay, slow down. I'm not understanding. You said they want arm candy, then you contradicted yourself. They want somebody that's more than just looks.
Yeah, arm candy, but something about bring with it and more in depth.
Do you know any men who make six figures or more?
My dad and my uncle.
Do you know any men that you are related to that make six figures or more?
I'm related to? Yeah.
That you are not related to?
Not on a personal level.
So you don't know them. You don't know what they want, but you want him. Man, I'm going to suggest that you really don't know what you want. And saying six figures is just something that you get taken from out there. But I'm not hearing this rooted to anything. What do you want ultimately? Do you want to be married? Children? What?
Yes, I want to be married.
Do you want any children?
Yes.
How many?
I have a son now, so.
How old is your son?
13.
Where's the father?
He's not in his life.
I said, where's the father?
Well, he's not like in it like I would like him to be.
Alright, so go ahead and take this down. Men who make the kind of money you're talking about have options. And typically they don't want to deal with women who have 13-year-old sons who are used to dating men. This doesn't sound appealing to the kind of men you're talking about. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I was thinking once I start booking sessions with you that
I can't change men.
I know, but I can approve myself, and I feel like I have a lot to offer to those type of men.
Oh, okay, but see, you should have stopped right there. I just told you I cannot change men, and you said once I book a session with you, I'm not a miracle worker. I'm telling you what they want, and you're still saying, yeah, but I want them. They don't want you.
But I have been working on myself this year, and
okay, ma'am, but okay, 35, 13-year-old son with a sketchy father. Why would a man who's the top 10% of earners, who women across the country want that?
Because I have a lot to offer. I feel like
you want your son to. If you had a son making that kind of money, would you want him to bring home a woman who had a 13-year-old son from a sketchy father? Or would you prefer him to get a woman who had no children, was younger, and easier to get on his program?
depending on his age.
See what I mean? See what I mean? This goes so deep for black women. They will even. Should have been an easy question. No, I would not want my son to bring. I want the best for my son. That should have been the appropriate answer. That's why I sat up. That is bullshit. You should want the best for your son.
Of course.
But this is. And are you thinking? My God.
If he brought home a woman, yes, I feel like I'm the exception to the rule. But when
that's the problem. You all think you're the exception to the rule, but your life is proven to you that you're not.
My love life is not that good. I agree with you.
That's my point, and ma'am, and that's my point. You ladies all feel like, listen, you ladies all feel like you're the exception to the rule. And then when someone like myself comes along and gives you a dose of reality, instead of just accepting it, it's like, yeah, but I'm special. You don't know any men on this level that are not your father, that are related to you. That means you don't know these men. You don't know where to go get them. You don't know what they want. But But you're still saying, pick me. They don't want mid-30-year-old baby mamas. I try to be polite, man, but they don't want those.
Can I ask you a question?
Did you hear what I said?
Yes.
Why is that so? Okay, go ahead.
So what?
Go ahead.
From my point of view, I feel like I get what you're saying. They do have better options, but also those better options are younger girls. Those younger girls don't necessarily 20-year-olds are not necessarily attracted to 45-year-olds.
Bullshit. I'm 51 and I can't beat them off with a stick. That's another one of you lies. No, younger women are attracted to older men. What are you talking about?
So can you see me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So do you feel like a woman like me?
What would you rank yourself on a scale from 1 to 10? You cannot use 7.
Would I rate myself?
Just your face.
My face when I wake up 5, but when I put myself together 6.
Okay. And how tall are you?
5'5".
Dress size.
I'm sorry?
Your dress size.
A 3.
Okay. So that makes you, if you give yourself a 5, that's average.
Yes.
So average looking women tend not to get high earning men. They tend to get average men.
So,
stop right there. Stop right there. Stop right there. Breathe and digest. You're 35 years old and you can look around and see the world. You don't tend to see higher earning men with average looking women. Off rip. If you do see them, they got their average looking woman when they were both really young and he built his way up. But a man earning the kind of money you're talking about does not go for an average looking woman.
I mean, my body is not average, so.
But please don't make me say it.
Say what? I really just wanted some advice. I love you.
I'm giving you advice, but you're not taking it. The advice is, man, you're average looking at best.
I'm taking it in, but.
Okay, but you're not accepting the fact that, okay, average looking women, average looking woman who's older, average looking older woman with a 13-year-old son, average looking woman with a 13-year-old son with a sketchy baby daddy. This gets worse every time I say something. And now you're asking for a man who's in the top 10% of men. You don't qualify for one. And you're making I don't want to have to go there. But when you put in all these other factors, why can't you just get a man that's an average guy?
Sometimes I feel like in order to fully submit, I have to feel like he's in.
Well, then you're gonna die alone. How about that? Let me just cut to the chase, man. You can feel like what you want to, but women like you die alone, straight up, because you think you're better than the men that you qualify for. And the only reason, honestly, man, that I can see a woman like yourself really thinking you deserve more is because you earn more money than most people around you in North Carolina. Even if your ass went to the post office, you would not think so highly of your opportunities. And that's the reality. Men don't care about your money. Not the kind of men that you want. We don't care about your money. It ain't ours. We care about the fact that you are older and you got kids. And you're average. And your reality of your life has showed you that. You don't have the kind of men that you want knocking on your door trying to find you. this country, this world, is we've told women like yourself that you can have it all, and you got a Prince Charming who's 6 foot, 6 feet tall, 6-figure income, jawline, all this other kind of stuff. And I'm sorry, man. No. Most people get average people, especially average people. You're an average person. I mean, let's be real. You're not running Microsoft. You got a pet grooming business. You've been making 6 figures for the last 3 years. Okay. But if I'm looking at you, if I looked at you and I took all that off of you, all the eyelashes and all the hair, what do you look like under there?
I mean, I look the same.
No, you don't. Because if you did, you wouldn't have all that on.
I'm sorry?
No, you don't. You don't look the same because if you did, you wouldn't have all that on.
So, what is your advice for making that?
All right, I'll tell you my advice, man, because you're not listening. This is why I always recommend you need therapy. Most of us in Black community need therapy, but you're not dealing with reality. I asked you about your child's father, and you couldn't answer me. But it doesn't sound like you're too proud of him. What kind of student is your child?
He's an A student.
Does he have any behavioral problems?
No, he actually got a YouTube channel and he's trying.
Don't need no. But where is it? But his daddy is still. If his daddy is alive, does he have a relationship with his father?
Yeah, he does.
Then what's your issue with him?
He's not business-minded like my father and my uncle. And
then why did you choose to make a baby with him before you got married?
Young and dumb. I was 16.
Exactly, and that cost. See? That young and dumb shit, let me stop you right here. That young and dumb shit you black women throw out as if it's supposed to get... Listen and listen well. Women, young and dumb is not a get out of jail free card. It doesn't go woof and change.
What black person hurt him? What black woman
you still
hurt this
have
man?
to carry that consequence. And men are not rushing up to be stepfathers to 13-year-olds. What would be better is if you honestly sat down and asked yourself, what value can I bring to a man?
And I know that, what I can.
Well, all right. What value? What is it?
What is it? I can help him with his business. I'm very business-minded on the end of helping organize, and I plant into planting my own garden, so I can definitely plan. I'm into improving my elegance with just self-improvement and working on myself. And
man, at 35 years old, here's what you told me. I can help him with his business. Due respect, ma'am. And I mean no disrespect, but 20 to 30% of people own businesses. What about the 70 to 80% of men who don't own them? That means that doesn't matter. That means nothing to the average man. And the next thing you said, I can plant. Ma'am, that means nothing to most people because we go to grocery stores. Then you say self-improvement. I gave you a shot at saying what you have to offer to men, and you said nothing that we value.
what do you say?
Book a session. I'm not doing this. Nope. I'm done. I'm trying to go right now. But this is happens. The older you ladies get, the more you get anyways. Book a session because I don't want to do this in public, man. But you seem like a sweet woman, but you're not getting it.
You're being so mean.
I'm not being. Don't tell me I'm being mean. I'm about to be mean. I get tired of you broads telling me I'm being mean because you cannot handle the goddamn truth. You called my show on a day that you're even supposed to be here, and I honored the call and sat here and tried to help you, and I'm telling me I'm being mean. Get the fuck out of my phone. I'm tired of y'all doing this shit.
The nerve, honey. Y'all, I'm trying to sit here and just take it all in, what I just heard. I'm trying to digest it. Mr. Samuels had some valid points. The queen is not realistic about what she wants. She doesn't seem to know exactly what's within what would she qualifies for. But at the same time, you could be an image coach, you could be a dating coach, but you might think that you yourself are more attractive than what you really are to someone else. You might yourself be a little on the cocky side, but you tend to kind of give yourself a little bit of leeway with that by saying, I'm just honest. However people like to, kind of uplift themselves and make themselves look like they are more than what they are. But I'm just saying that we all could put ourselves up on a pedestal and, say that we value ourselves a lot more than somebody else. But what makes his opinion, that I would be like, screw that, for real. Because that didn't help this lady. The way he talked to her, she was some maid or one of his slaves or something. He was just talking to her crazy. Did you have to do it like that? For real? What did I just watch? How is this supposed to be helpful to this lady? Somebody talking to her like that, telling her, you broads, you black women. It's obvious that the brother is hung up on something, that he's angry at black women for something. And I'm not going to sit up there and say that, I felt that everything she did and said was right, because it wasn't. He did make some valid points. But it's beyond that. It's when you are considering yourself, you're in a business. You're in the business to assist people and make them better, not make them more, psychologically, disturbed. You can be, honest without being a straight asshole. You could be honest. That was just brutal. It was very brutal. It was very distasteful. It could have been done differently than that. And then him continuing to be cocky and say to book a session. At this point, ain't no future sessions. You're not getting my business or my money. I'm not coming to you for you to continue to make a fool out of me. Somebody's supposed to help somebody build their image up is talking to people like that. This is really questionable. Maybe he has helped a ton of people, but some people get money, honey, and they don't know how to act no more. It just seemed like the money that maybe went to his head, because I done seen other earlier videos that he's done, and the brother seemed like he was making quite a bit of sense. As a professional, on a professional level, sometimes I don't agree with what he says, but like I said, we can all agree to disagree. I know what the textbooks say. I know what the studies are, and so forth. I know what I know. He knows what he knows. That's beyond the point. What this is about is what is ethical, what, it's about morals. It's just about so much more than what, people are even chiming in on. I could be excited that you sending tons of clients my way because you probably screwing their heads up, but that's not too exciting. This country, we have enough problems in this country with people, dealing with psychological situations and trauma, that we don't need your help screwing them up any more than what they already are. You know what I'm saying? So it's just disturbing and disheartening, and it just was not tasteful for somebody who has so much money that can conduct themselves. They have, they're supposed to be educated. We don't have to let the money and the fame go to our head and to where we have to treat others that way. And this lady is not a lion. She don't have to be strong like a lion and be perfect. She was playing with her phone. I seen people comment on the fact that it was disrespectful. That lady was trying not to cry. If you know anything about psychology, it don't even take a therapist to know that. She was trying to deal with the situation without blowing up and going the hell off on this man. So she was messing with her phone because she was uncomfortable with the situation. And then y'all would have had something else to say had she cussed his ass smooth out. Which at that point he deserved it. You broads, you black women, like, who did something to you, sir? It just, to me, it just showed, you know, like his true character. Like he's obviously dealing with something. And it's obvious. It's not a secret. It's very obvious because he shows it. You know what I'm saying? And people run up behind people and praise them. And there's nothing wrong with just saying that, you know, you may be good at what you do, but that was taking things a little too far. And yeah, you could have done a lot of damage to somebody. The approach that you took with that, I'm not, that approach, no, I'm not here for it. So y'all wanted me to give my feedback on what I thought about it. And she's a single mom and all this, her expectations are high. She wasn't very realistic about that. Average. But who makes you Prince Charming and perfect? And you know what I mean? To me, a man can have all the money in the world, but if he has an attitude, like a horrible attitude, and he's cocky and disrespectful, his value is going down, down, down. Like, it's more than just about looks and money. Yeah, you know what men want or whatever, that's fine. And, you know, you're trying to help the sister come to reality and realize some things, but you didn't have to do it the way you did it. It's just ways to do things and ways not to do them. And as a professional, you should already know better. Especially if you're going to be in this field. If you want to choose to be a comedian, anything dealing with human services and helping people ain't it. This is not the Dr. Phil show, Jerry Springer, where we want to make a fool out of people who are not too mentally, you know, doing well. They're not, you know, right mentally. They need some help. Because you're just contributing to making that worse. That's making matters worse. Everybody is not going to reach out to this man. Everybody that's reaching out to him is obviously, it's going to be a lot of people that need improvement in a lot of areas, like a lot of self-improvement. But you don't have to like call people out, especially like, oh, sis, I just would have hung up the phone and got off that call, and I wouldn't be thinking about calling this nigga. I wouldn't be thinking about calling this fool. After just seeing how he act, and I've seen how, you know, he didn't talk to other people crazy. He tries to make an example out of everybody, and I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't have to. I'm not giving him my money, you know, but I'm just saying it's a time and a place for everything. He could have just handled it a lot better. He could have been a lot more professional than what he was. It just seemed like more of a roasting session and more to just humiliate somebody than to uplift them and bring them up. You ain't got to tear somebody down completely to uplift them and, you know, make them see reality and help them improve. What kind of education did you obtain and from where? Like, and I hope he never in life considers being a therapist, because many people that were like that, they failed. They got sent home. They didn't even make it to, you know, where we actually had to do our residencies. They didn't make it that far. They got sent back on a plane. They wasted their money. They were obviously still angry and dealing with unfinished business, and they would have been racist, or they would have been, you know, had an issue with all men or had an issue with all women. And you can't be like that in a profession like this. Like, you're going to do more damage to a person than good if you come in like that. So one thing that being a coach or a therapist or anybody in a helping profession, we have to do is check ourselves at the door. Because none of us are perfect. You know, who are we to be making this person feel less than? When we not all that. You and me, we had to work on ourselves at some point. I just feel like it could have been done a lot differently. He did make some very valid points. You know, he's not a dumb man, but it is stupid to take the approach that he did, being considering that, you know, the legal risk and just, you know, just morals and ethics and Most of us, you know, that are in helping professions, we think about all that because they drill it into your damn head when you're in school, you know, like by the time you get out, if you don't know, that better be the first thing you know. When you're to take a test, you better have all that stuff down packed first, because that's going to be like number one that, you know, you test it on. You got to know your stuff, and you got to know better. You can't conduct yourself like that. Like, it's embarrassing. As somebody who, you know, actually tries to help people, seeing somebody else that's supposed to be a fellow helper act that way and make someone feel that way is truly sad. We got to do better. We got to do better. We ain't got to tear somebody completely down to make ourselves look better. We don't have to tear somebody completely down to make an example. Y'all, we got to do better. And even as a people, like, we just look crazy. Do you know how we come across to other people looking like this? And we going at it with each other over what? You know what I mean? This is what people who didn't want us to stand strong together, this is what they wanted. They wanted us to go toe to toe and you know, box, you know, go a couple rounds together in the ring. That's what they wanted. Y'all giving them what they wanted by acting a damn fool. Acting simple-minded. Closed-minded. Because that whole session, very, very closed-minded. Yeah, no, it's a no for me. It's a no for me. Because it just could have been done differently, y'all. And y'all want to know what I think. I'm not saying he's a horrible person, but if this is how he's doing business, it really is questionable to me. Like, who is he really helping? But obviously, if you got worse issues, you got something mental you got to deal with, you got relationship problems, go see a licensed professional. Do your research. Get recommendations, referrals, whatever you need to know that you're going to somebody who's legit, somebody who can really help you and not make you worse. And that's what I recommend to any of you. Make sure you check who you're asking for advice. Because everybody ain't it. Everybody ain't it. And yeah. Wow. Well, I really appreciate y'all watching. Wow. I'm still just like, what the hell did I just watch? It just feels like that's supposed to be help in a situation. Yeah, if you're Satan, you know. He's like the devil's advocate acting like that, you know. I don't know, y'all. But we about to get on up out of here. And if you like lashes, you like hair. Sometimes I like my natural hair. Sometimes I hate makeup. Sometimes I love makeup. I like makeup because I like to utilize my creativity. I love fashion. Who is somebody to tell somebody something because they wear lashes or don't wear them? On some days I feel like wearing them. Some days I don't. I feel just as beautiful with them or without them. It's not that you have to have it. But that's your business. And there is somebody out there for everybody. There's somebody that wants you regardless. Don't let somebody tear you down and have you looking like boo-boo the damn fool and low and feeling down on yourself when you know you better than that. That's all I can say about that. Like, it's many people in this world that are very real and genuine about really wanting to help you and wanting to help you be better by not tearing you down first. I can guarantee you that there's people who can help you become a better you without tearing you down completely into a little shrivel, into a mushroom, into dirt or dust, to prove a point, to make themselves look better, to have a show going on, to have a whole circus. Like, that's not the kind of help you need. Trust and believe. Y'all can do better. For those that want to continue to go to people like that, have at it. You know what I mean? Like, it's your money, not mine. All I can just say is just be careful, because you don't want somebody to have you mentally worse off than what you probably already are. You know what I'm saying? That's real. And so, yeah, I take something like this to heart because we work very hard to help people reverse that. We work very hard to help people improve like who they are in those issues that they had and the trauma that they've dealt with in the past. Like, who in the hell are you? Where do you get off pointing out all of somebody else's flaws when you obviously are wearing yours on your sleeves because you are being a complete jerk and on camera, like in public in front of everybody, just being a straight asshole. Like, it's you showing your true colors. Like, it's not even hidden that you got issues with black women. And I'm not here to, be butthurt about it. You don't know me. I don't know you. And I'm going to go off of a whole lot of things in judging, if I'm trying to decide how someone is or if they are for me or not for me. And being a jerk doesn't actually come across as too attractive for me. You know what I mean? Everybody's different. Some people, some young girls do like a older man to, tell them what to do, but it's more like a dad figure. And a lot of them, they have daddy issues, and that stems down to a psychological issue in itself. A lot of those girls who are coming your way and stuff like that, a lot of them probably deal with a lot of issues, a lot of daddy issues and, personal problems that have them run into older men. And obviously, if someone sees you got this, you got that green, you got that ching ching, yes, they're going to be eating out the palm of your hand, some of these young girls. That's what they know. They want the money. So yes, it's going to be attractive. Doesn't mean that they think you all that, daddy. Doesn't mean that they don't think you have any flaws because you are pumping yourself up. You got your own head boosted up and inflated. That's not to say that you are no better than anybody else. It's just, I can't believe people act like this. Like, people really conduct themselves in this manner. But y'all can do what y'all want to do. Y'all want to pay people like this to help you screw yourself up more, then have at it. But I got to go after all this. Y'all need a drink, a little sippy. Pray. Get your Bible out. Read your Bible. Ask God for guidance and seriously in who can help you better yourself, because everybody is not going to send you on the right path. Everybody does not have your best interests at heart, and it's very obvious. We see people tear people down so much in every day, all over the world. But it just, I don't know, y'all. It's sad. It's really sad. But if you have not subscribed and you want to officially join the fam, please do press that subscribe button. Tap the alerts, y'all, so y'all won't miss out on any of my uploads. And do something positive for somebody. And hearing all this drama, y'all, I'm just like, do something positive for somebody. If y'all really see people need help, try to really truthfully be helpful. Don't try to make a complete clown out of somebody when you know they're already in a bad place. Please don't do it. All right, y'all. I'm about to go enjoy the rest of this Vegas day. If you have not tuned into my video on this hair, Mr. Samuels might be against it and not agree with it, but who cares? If you like hair, sis, you like protective styles, do you for whatever reason. You don't owe nobody no explanation. Be you, love yourself. All right, y'all. Love you. Your girl's out. Later.